In these next few videos, we're going to be looking at different ways to model addition and subtraction of positive and negative numbers. And we're also going to look at these problems in different real-world scenarios, such as temperature and money. I do not expect you to like all the different ways we're going to look at these problems, but you should understand them. I'm going to give you as many different ways to look at addition and subtraction as I can, so hopefully one of these ways will make sense to you. You need to pick out the way that makes the most sense to you and use that method. Remember that you are not supposed to use a calculator in this class. And I know that I can't monitor that for your homework, but if you cheat on the homework with using a calculator, then you're not going to be prepared for the test, and it's only going to give you a worse grade in the long run that you would have had otherwise. Also, when you get to intermediate algebra or college algebra and you can use a calculator, you're not going to have time to use a calculator for every computation problem that you're going to come across. So you need to know how to add and subtract positives and negatives without a calculator. Okay, in this first video, we are going to be looking at addition and subtraction of positive and negative numbers in relation to a number line. In this case, we're going to be using what's called a balloon model. We have a vertical number line. We have a hot air balloon. In the upper right-hand corner, you can see this little balloon with a smiley face. That's a bag of helium, actually, that's going to make this hot air balloon go up. And a sandbag, when added to this hot air balloon, is going to make your balloon go down. Now, one other thing before we jump into the problems here is that this lesson is going to encompass addition and subtraction of positive and negative numbers. Your homework is separated into two different categories. The first part, I believe, is section 1.4, which is on addition of positives and negative numbers. And then the second set of homework problems is from section 1.5, which is subtraction of positive and negative numbers. Okay, the directions here say to answer the question below and then use the balloon model to help you complete the tables. What happens with the balloon when you add helium? Well, we just mentioned that. It goes up. And what happens with the balloon when you add sandbags? It goes down. In this activity, we're going to write bags of helium as positive numbers and sandbags as negative numbers. And you can see my example here. 3 bags of helium is going to be represented with just a 3 or a positive 3. And 2 sandbags is going to be represented as negative 2. Problem number 1. We're going to start with 4 bags of helium and then add 9 more bags of helium. So my math sentence, we're starting with 4 bags of helium, so that's positive 4, and then we're adding 9 more bags of helium. If I go back to my model here, I'm always going to start my balloon model at 0. And I'm going to add 4 bags of helium. There's where my balloon is when I have 4 bags of helium. Now I'm going to add 9 more bags of helium. So I'm going to raise my balloon 9 spots. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And you can see that my balloon is going to end up at 13. When I go back to my math sentence here, I know 4 plus 9 is 13. Problem number 2. We're going to start with 6 sandbags. So I'm starting with negative 6. And then I'm going to add 4 more sandbags. So negative 6 plus negative 4. So again, my balloon is starting here at 0. We have 6 sandbags, which will put me down here at negative 6. And then I'm going to add 4 more sandbags. And when I add sandbags, my balloon is going to go down. So it's going to go down 1, 2, 3, 4, and I end up at negative 10. So negative 6 plus negative 4 is going to give me negative 10. Problem number 3, I'm going to start with 8 bags of helium, so that's positive 8. And then I'm going to add 3 sandbags. So add negative 3. Okay, starting with 8 bags of helium, so I'm up here at 8, and when I add 3 sandbags, when I add sandbags, my balloon goes down, and it's going to go down 3, so I'm going to end up at 5. Okay, problem number 4, we're going to start with 14 sandbags, so that's negative 14, and then we're going to add 1 more sandbag. Okay, with our balloon model, we're going to start at negative 14, is that 14 sandbags, and then I'm going to go down 1 more, so I'll end up at negative 15. Problem 5, we're going to start with 9 bags of helium and then subtract 6 bags of helium. Now this is actually a problem that you learned in 1st grade. 9 minus 6 is 3, we know that, but let's look at this on our number line. Okay, we're going to start up here at positive 9. Now, when we take away helium, our hot air balloon is going to go down. So that's going to put me down here at positive 3. Problem 6. We're going to start with 6 sandbags, so that's negative 6. And then we're going to subtract 2 bags of helium. We have negative 6 minus 2. So we're starting with negative 6, and we're taking away 2 helium. So when I take away helium, my balloon is going to go down. So I'm going to end up at negative 8. Problem 7, I'm going to start with 8 sandbags. It's negative 8. And then I'm going to add 6 bags of helium. So negative 8 plus 6. So I'm going to start down here at negative 8. And I'm going to add helium. So when I'm adding helium, my balloon is going to rise. And it's going to go up 6 places. So I'm going to end up at negative 2. Problem 8, we're going to start with 12 sandbags, so that's negative 12. And then I'm going to subtract 5 sandbags. So I'm taking away 5 sandbags. I'm starting at negative 12. I'm starting down here. And I'm taking away sandbags. So when I take away sandbags, my balloon is going to go up. And it's going to go up 5 places, so I'm going to end up at negative 7. Let me give you a chance to do problems 9 and 10 on your own. So pause the video, do those, and then come back and check your answers. Okay, and there are your answers for problems 9 and 10. Okay, in this next set of problems, we're given our math sentence, and we need to come up with the answer and also the verbal expression with what's going on. So on problem 11, I'm starting with negative 3, which means I start with 3 sandbags. And then here I have plus 6, so that means I'm going to be adding 6 heliums. And our answer here is positive 3. Now what I would like for you to do for the remainder of this table is to see if you can figure out the answers. If you want to try and write out the verbal expression, you can, but I really want you to focus on this last part over here where you're just finding the answers. And don't let these parentheses throw you. They're just here to separate the number, just to be sure you recognize this as a negative 7. And there are your answers for problems 11 through 16. Problem number 1. What effect does adding a bag of helium have on the position of your hot air balloon? Well, we've already discussed that. Your balloon goes up 1. Problem number 2. What effect does subtracting a bag of helium have on the position of your hot air balloon? Well, when you take away the helium, your balloon is going to go down. Problem number 3, what effect does adding a sandbag have on the position of your hot air balloon? When you add a sandbag, the balloon is going to go down. Problem number 4, what effect does subtracting a sandbag have on the position of your hot air balloon? So subtracting a sandbag means you're taking away a sandbag. So that means your balloon is going to go up. And now you need to be sure you understand those 4 questions before we go on to the last 4. Okay, these next 2 questions here are multiple choice. Problem 5, which of the following actions has the same result as subtracting a bag of helium? Choice A, adding a bag of helium. Choice B, adding a sandbag. Or choice C, subtracting a sandbag. So if you need to take some time to pause the video and think about that before you get your answer, then please do so. Okay, subtracting a bag of helium means we're taking away helium, so my balloon is going to go down. That's the same thing as adding a sandbag. Problem 6, which of the following actions has the same result as subtracting a sandbag? So I'm taking away a sandbag. So what's the same as taking away a sandbag? Choice A, adding a bag of helium. Choice B, subtracting a bag of helium. Or choice C, adding a sandbag. Well, when I subtract a sandbag, the balloon is going to go up. So that's the same thing as adding a bag of helium. Problem number 7, which of the following has the same result as subtracting a positive number? So if you're taking away a positive number, that's like taking away helium. So that's going to be the same result as adding a negative. Problem 8, which of the following has the same result as subtracting a negative number? Choice A, adding a positive number. Choice B, subtracting a positive number. Or choice C, adding a negative number. Okay, so subtracting a negative, we're taking away a negative. That's like taking away a sandbag. So my balloon is going to go up. So that's going to be the same thing as adding a positive number.